What event in your life crushed you and destroyed you most? Death of my wife. Losing my first dog, that I remember and have memories with, toe cancer. My dad being diagnosed with dementia and watching his steady decline and still watching. Mom died a couple years ago in my arms. Honestly, the day I realized that most businesses out there take advantage of your hard working. Let me explain. I was 22. I naively believed that if I worked hard, showed up every day, never complained, and in general just put my all into it, the company would be grateful to me, kick back some raises at me, maybe even give me a better position regardless of any small mistakes I made. I broke a $20 item and was fired. My illusions of being hardworking are no more. I work at what I'm paid. Pay me more? I'll put more effort in. Never ever break your back for shitheads. Dealing with a bad case of COVID-19 back in March of 2020. There have been moments that left me emotionally destroyed or physically destroyed. But this one was a combination of both mental and physical destruction for an extended period of time. It's possible that I'm still dealing with issues as a result of what I went through back then. Someone I know recently had COVID and yet after around a week they were back to normal. It took me around 2 to 3 months before I felt better after having been sick. When my son's mother started hitting me in the back with a baseball bat while I was feeding him. Just a few weeks of him coming home from NICU. Her dad set up security cameras that caught everything. The police had me in handcuffs when they watched the video of what actually happened. They let me go. Wouldn't let me back in the house. I had to walk 13 miles to my mom's house that night. I lost the police report from that night in one of the few times I've been forced to move since then. What would you call a partner who tells you to not call them when you're feeling low cause they don't want no negativity? Does she have mental issues? Anxiety? Depression? Something similar? Because then someone else's sadness can be very overwhelming and stop you from bettering yourself. I've seen so many times when two people with mental problems just drag each other down. Then it becomes a question if it's worth it. If that's not the case, it depends how often this happens. Did she just have a bad day herself this time? Then it's understandable. Does she do this every time? Break up. People on Reddit always say breaking up is the solution without knowing circumstances. Self-centered. I mean, I'm supposed to be there for you but not be there for me? I get it if they're going through, but if they expect you to be there for them through everything, then they should at least be there for you. The nature and the wording of the question leads me to suggest, I would call them a former partner. Either there is something else going on that we're not privy to, or their communication skills are lacking such that they aren't capable of an exchange of words to help rectify make better the situation. How you're asking is leading me to this conclusion. If there is data I don't know, that pertains to the situation, that may change my answer. Reading through this thread, I gotta say her making the situation about how you feeling upset is upsetting her is just not good. If you can't be safely vulnerable with her, there's no future there. I say this having had a relationship in the past that was like that. You can't build intimacy if vulnerability is off the table, and everyone needs a safe person to vent to. If your partner wants to but can't due to their own issues that can be worked out through therapy, etc. But sounds like she just wants you to be there for her and is not willing to reciprocate. One-sided relationships don't work. Explain this to her. And move on. Ladies of Reddit. How do you carry your passed out drunk girlfriends? Fireman carry. Wow. Thankfully, nobody in my friends group drinks that hard. But I can't lift 50 to 70 kilos. Such a case I'd call some of our guy friends. Get a blanket. Roll her onto it. Use it to pull her out. You'll need at least one other person to throw her in the car, and hopefully you don't have stairs. We don't drink until we pass out. But I will piggyback them if their feet hurt. We usually don't drink until we pass out. Or if we did so in the past, we did it in an environment where it was easy to bring them to another safe room. Put them on a sofa and guarding them with a bucket in case of vomiting. I don't put myself in a situation where that might be a possibility. I don't. My friends are my age and we're all way too old for that kind of carry-on. And even when I was younger and went out more, it was very rare for anyone to drink until they passed out. That's very problematic behavior. Let's assume I have friends and I'd go out with them when they drink. I personally don't drink. I wouldn't because I'm not strong enough to carry people. I can pick up my dog, who's like 23 kilograms. But it gets harder to hold him up as time goes on. I think I'd just call another trusted, strong friend in that case. Or a non-emergency ambulance as a last resort. Drinking to blackout would be so uncharacteristic of my friends. I would be worried something else happened. Did they actually overdrink? Or did their drink get spiked, or they are having some medical issue? I might be calling an ambulance before I try to move them. What would suck not to have in this world anymore? It's small but it's what I got. If I lose it I'll just cry and die. Vultures. Went to a lecture about how important to the ecosystem they are. But they have bad press due to Disney and other cartoons, so it's hard to get people to care about them. Dogs. Cats. All of nature. Oxygen, but that's part of nature. 2. Music. Love. Hope. Courage. Books. Dogs. Did I mention dogs? And music. Food. For me. My mom. My family. P.S. Dogs and music. Technology. I'm not saying it's good for this world, but I've got to admit if we didn't have technology we would be totally lost. I dunno. Billionaires would be a start. A cap on what anyone can earn in posses in terms of money. No one needs hundreds of billions whilst people go homeless and hungry. Birds, frogs, butterflies. And that's the direction we are heading. So-called traditional women who care for their families. If I didn't have a mom like I did, I don't think me and my dad would have survived, especially since both of us work labor-intensive jobs and are too sore to move when we get home, not to mention too starving to think. So yeah, world need good old-fashioned mamas. All the wild animals. No more rhino, no more elephants, no more birds in the sky, no more trees and grass, or forests or rivers. It kills me to even consider that I will one day walk out my front door and my entire existence is brick, glass and concrete. Doctors, guys who clean the sewer, factory workers, garbage truck drivers, pizza, memes, music, sports, and the 2014 Mr. Peabody and Sherman film adaptation.